Hi everybody and welcome to the Mental Toughness and Body Show. My name is Rob Evans and I'm your weight loss coach, health strategist and internationally published author, helping take your life, your business, your health, fitness, body and mindset from where you are to where it is that you want to be. And today really is all about mental toughness because we, just a matter of an hour and a half ago, have found out that we're going back into another lockdown here in Melbourne, Victoria. This will be the third lockdown we've been into. Now at this stage, they're saying it's just 5 days. So it starts from midnight tonight and at least it covers 2 days of the weekend. And then we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And hopefully by Wednesday, we get an announcement from our Premier that says it's cool, we can go back to the way that we were doing it before. But of course, the risk is that this goes on way longer than the 5 days. So what's gone on? Well, it's this UK variant that they keep talking about, an extra contagious mutated version of COVID-19 that has escaped from hotel quarantine and it's now infected, I think it's up to 19 people in our community. So they're worried that this is going to spread and go wild, and so they've said we need to have a snap lockdown. So we got a hint of it this morning. There were 2 more cases that came out overnight and they said, no, we've got to shut everything down. So obviously we've been through this before in Victoria and we're quite experts at it because we've gone through 7.5 months of it. We're about to go through another 5 days. My feeling is it's going to be much longer than that. I think they'll go for 14 days. I think it might go out to maybe 30 days or even longer than that. But what does that mean? Should this be a surprise to start with? And I would say no, it should be no surprise to anyone. Even though people like to live in a fantasy world where they think that everything is just going to get back to normal, and we've been very lucky that we have been able to enjoy a lot of the things that we were doing before, but now we're forced back into this scenario. So already people have been talking, even before they announced it, they had on the news people that they were interviewing that were talking about the mental health issues that people were now going to struggle with having to go through another lockdown. And yes, is it hard? Yes, it's very hard. My kids are going to have to homeschool again for a few days because we haven't got a message from the school yet, but they've said all schools are shut. My business, I can't see people face to face anymore, so we're going back to Zoom sessions. It means that some people I just won't see for a few days because they don't want to do the Zoom sessions. So it means now I've just posted something on Facebook Live, so my phone is going off the hook with people asking what's happening, text messages, etc. So I already have a plan in place as to how we're going to deal with all of the, everything that's coming up over this next 5 days. But if I take a step back from all of it, coming out of the last lockdown, going into the second lockdown, I had a plan. I had a plan of what I was going to be achieving over this lockdown, not knowing exactly how long it was going to go, because you can't just go through life waiting for somebody to make a decision where you are going to be positively impacted. You have to, make your own destiny. So I already know if we go longer than 5 days, then I know what it is I'm going to be working on. I already know that if I've got some free space next week because I will not be coaching some people because they don't want to be coached unless they can physically come into our studio, then I know what I'm going to be working on because I've got so much to do. When you're growing, when you're expanding, when you're driven to make an impact in people's lives, it's pretty simple. You just keep working, you keep moving forward. So I have a plan for all the things that I'm going to be doing. And I'm excited by the fact that, okay, well, if things free up there, that means I can spend more time here working on this, serving people, communicating with people, making a difference in people's lives. And that's why we do what we do. But so many people are going to be panicking and wondering what is they going to be doing and doing more complaining than acting over these next 5 days. But don't let that be you. Now, where you are in the world, is this message is going to resonate with you or not, because you're going to be in a different scenario to us. You could be in lockdown, you could be out of lockdown, you may have been in lockdown for a few weeks, maybe it's been 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Maybe you've been locked down for months, like we were here in Victoria, and you say, well, you just got to find a way to deal with it. But I think, you think 5 days, oh, well, I just won't do anything for 5 days. That's a waste of 5 days. This is 5 days where you can achieve a lot. Now, 2 of it's the weekend. You say, oh, well, we'll just rest over the weekend. Well, I'm still working. Today's Friday. I'm still working tomorrow. I'm not seeing people face to face, but I'm doing Zoom sessions with people. There's always something that you can be working on if you've got a plan for it. So we've got to have a plan to succeed. We've got to keep working. And you have no excuse whatsoever. If you've come out of lockdown, going into a third lockdown like us, you have no excuse to do nothing, because you should have planned for this to happen. You should have learned from the first one and the second one. And now we go into a third one. Even though it's they're marketing it as a 5-day lockdown, I think it could be at least 14 to 30 days. Because I think that there will be more results that come out and say, oh, well, this thing has actually spread further. So we need to, quarantine people longer. So it's just part of life. And until we get a vaccine in Australia that is going to vaccinate probably 75% of the population, that's the stuff that I'm reading, that's the volume that it takes before there can be that herd immunity and not allow the virus to spread, then we're 12 months away from that, I reckon. We've had the vaccine approved, but it's not being administered for another few weeks yet. So at the rate that they can vaccinate people, it's going to take 12 months, I reckon, before we get that volume of people vaccinated to get back to that more sense of normality. It's going to take a while. So it's not just going to happen overnight. And forget international travel. I mean, people are obviously complaining this weekend. People have planned trips away interstate, planning trips away just, locally. You've got Valentine's Day, you've got restaurants, you've got florists, you've got a whole range of services that are being disrupted. Every gym will have to close. It's a massive disruption. It's billions of dollars that are, well, certainly hundreds of millions of dollars that will be lost within our economy over the next 5 days. So it doesn't make it easy for people. And because it's only 5 days, there'll be no sense of compensation or anything. It's just like, well, that's just tough luck. And I look at my situation, I was about to have one of my best months ever this month. And now you take a week out of that, and that's going to be having an impact on it. It's not the end of the world, because most of my clients will still continue. But still, it's a real letdown for some people that are just getting started. So it's annoying. It's frustrating. I get that. But this is where you've got to use that mental toughness and say, well, this is just going to make me stronger. When I heard the news, I thought, oh, that's so annoying, because now I have to waste multiple hours to communicate via different ways with people, toing and froing, backwards and forwards, about what they want to do, and convince them as to this is the best way for us to move forward over these next few days. And I think I could be doing more productive things with my time than communicating with all of these people right now. But that's it. It's like, just move on. It's time to keep moving. Get excited about what you can do next week. Pull out that plan and start working away. So I'm excited about the change, because change is good. Change provides opportunity. And let's hope that it just lasts a short period of time, because, yes, some people are really suffering. And we don't want to see people suffering as much as some people have been. So many people have taken their own lives because of this whole COVID scenario and what it's meant for their lives and livelihoods. We don't want people to be like that. So Stay tough. Stay strong. We will all get through this, but I implore you, create a rock solid plan so that you can create something really special over the period of the lockdown that you're going through, or the next one that's coming your way if you've come out of one or you're about to go into another one, or whatever. Create a plan so that you can come out of this better on the other side. Because if you go back to some of the early episodes of the Mental Toughness and Body Show, you will hear me talk about if I had the opportunity to continue 2020 as I had planned it at this time of the year last year, because we were shut down. This is February at the time of recording this, 2021. It was March 23 in 2020 when we were locked down for the first time last year. And up to that point, I had a plan as to what I was going to achieve in 2020. And then if that was the crossroad and you could have continued to go that path, or knowing what you know now, you could have gone down the COVID path, and you had that choice at that T intersection, which one would you have taken? I would still say I would take the COVID path because of all the opportunities, all the greatness, all the things that came out of what COVID provided and the challenges that it provided. I would still go down that path. So what does that tell me now? Well, if I go down that path again in 2021, there's going to be more opportunity, there's going to be more growth, there's going to be more greatness that follows by going down that path. So continue to go down that path. Continue to do it, but continue to plan, continue to work on it, create the better version of you. Think of ways that you can give more to more people, connect more deeply with more people, and you watch how things start to change for you. So I'm excited about it. There's a lot of frustration out there. I hear that. People are going nuts over the toilet rolls and everything. I mean, I went to the supermarket, as I think I mentioned before, to do my normal shopping at this time. I go to the butcher and get my meat just because it's before school pickup and it's just convenient and everything. And the guy in front of me would have bought about 30 kilos of meat. And I think they should have stopped him and said, look, what are you doing? You bought all the chicken, so I couldn't get my chicken. It was crazy. This is a bulk butcher. It was ridiculous. I then went to a supermarket to get some other things. The lines were like the full length or half the length of this particular supermarket. It was just ridiculous. It's like, and this was within like an hour and a half of them making the announcement, or an hour. It's like, what is wrong with you? So people go crazy. They do stupid things. Don't be like that. Plan. There's opportunity out there. Be great. Be mentally tough. We're all in together. Stay strong. Stay safe. I'll see you tomorrow.